What a song to end the album with. So many sounds that we've just not even come close to experimenting with throughout this album just suddenly show up. What's up, friends? Today we're checking out the latest album by the band that is probably the most underrated rock band of all time. We're talking about Canadian rock stars Nickelback. Their latest album is Get Rollin'. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of a producer and songwriter, so we'll be looking at the development of the songs, what makes them good, what instruments stand out. So we're getting started with San Quentin.
Let's get this circus on down the road. We're taking bets up.
I think that verse is really interesting, kind of bass driven, drums going, vocals, and then occasionally there's these guitars that just come in, this rhythm guitar, to emphasize certain parts, emphasize the groove in certain places. It's cool. Really dig the opening groove for that guitar solo, just chugging along with those high notes and then bursting into the main portion of the solo. It's a cool little trick there. It adds a nice variety to the solo. I really like when albums start with a lot of energy, and this song is certainly energetic. I really like the intro, just those guitars and drums going wild, building us in, getting us excited for what's to come. That chorus is super catchy. I think Nickelback is one of the catchiest rock bands. They're really good at having those choruses just be banging, just get you excited, get stuck in your head type of choruses. Next song is Skinny Little Missy. Speaking of catchy choruses, this one just goes so hard. Going right along with that groove, going right around with those guitars, and creating this super catchy sing-alongable chorus. That lead guitar is absolutely shredding. That was such a sick solo. The heck? Man, those guitars were sick. There was such a great groove going throughout the whole song. Just really head-banging, nice 2/4 drum beat that was emphasized in a really cool way by the bass and guitar. And also by the vocals. Just everything came together to create this real head-banging, catchy as can be chorus. Those solos are so good on this album. Starting off strong. I really like that song, Skinny Little Missy. It's a cool one. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps me out. I appreciate it so much. Okay, These Days is next up. Man, they just know how to do nostalgia. These acoustic nostalgia songs Nickelback does, like the Photograph vibe is so cool.
The stereo, and play it everywhere we go. So did every
Electric guitar bursting in on those choruses, adding that extra layer of energy to the song, making that chorus pop out more.
just a single thing. Let's time we'd waste.
A lot of really cool production techniques going on throughout that song. After that second chorus, first off, you get this low pass filter right after the chorus into that bridge, making us pay a little bit more attention because things were so big and then they became so small and we've cut off a lot of those high frequencies. You've kind of got to pay attention closer to that bridge, and then it bursts into the scene, creates this nice differentiation. And then going into that last chorus, they put a ring shifter on the drums, which created this really unique sound, made the drums feel kind of like they were warping in and out. As we went into that last chorus, they have these gang vocals. Makes it sound like this whole crowd is singing along to the song. Like everyone is feeling this vibe of wanting to relive a different time, getting that nostalgia fix as a big group of people. They exit out with this interesting outro, these O's extended with the vocals having little callbacks to earlier lyrics. My favorite lyric of the song was probably the one about how they used to think that getting to first base was holding hands. It's a real nice way of showing innocence when it comes to intimacy. And reminds me a lot of the line in Photograph about him being so nervous that he nearly missed for his first kiss. High Times next up. Love the intro of this song, introducing with those different percussion, the smoking noise, as well as the shutting of the door, and then incorporating that into the percussion for the actual song. Really cool idea.
Well, it's high time you and I got rolling.
There's some acoustic guitars coming on the left and right, kind of panned heavy on left and right, and they are so cool. I really like the richness that they add to the chorus. The bridge was interesting, drawing everything back. We've added so many layers in the guitar, and then when we get to the bridge, we draw it all back, creates this nice differentiation in energy. A lot of unique instrumentation throughout that song. Interesting piece of music. Vegas Bomb is next up.
Top of the lungs.
That hook is cool. I like how the vocals come away and it's this gang vocal approach, a lot of reverb on it. It's interesting. I like the space that the guitar creates in that chorus by not coming in every single moment. They live these nice places where the vocal is super clear. It gives a nice contrast, adds this extra layer of interest in that chorus section. You know, it's songs like this that really make me question the hate that Nickelback gets. Just the generalized hate. I mean, I understand if someone has a taste where they don't like the vocal or they don't like kind of deeper guitar noises or that general kind of like nu metal vibe or that mix of rock and country. But this generalized distaste is strange to me because they do interesting things on their song, like straight up. Like the chorus on this song is really interesting. They have guitars doing the primary hook, interesting spacing throughout the chorus, great solos. I mean, I just don't know. Like, it's clear that they're technically proficient musicians who are, you know, putting together catchy, interesting songs, especially like on this one. So, yeah, it beats me. Tidal Wave is next up. I'm also from Vegas, so it's nice to, you know, hear a little Vegas flair on a song. I love how we've come from this intensity to this really drawn back atmosphere. It's a nice contrast. Interesting guitar tones, very distinct from what we've heard so far on this album. Less chuggy, less distorted. I also like that Foley at the beginning of the song. It kind of throws me off how much more energy that vocal has than the sonic atmosphere that they're sitting in. But gosh darn, like that chorus is so catchy. Those high clean guitars are so cool. Really like the wave sounds used throughout the song. I like when the name of the song is reflected in a sonic quality that is part of the song. Yeah, great chorus. Loving you is like a boat on a tidal wave. Just so high energy compared to this really chill background. And at first it struck me as so odd, but like the more I listened to it, the more it just felt right and it felt like it fit. You know, there's so much soul to it. Does Heaven Even Know You're Missing? It's a really intense title for a song. Sounds very emo. Like, I know they're manipulating my emotions by having that low pass filter at the beginning, just cutting off the very end of the high end to create more of an excitement as we get into that chorus. But dang, touching, tender piece of music.
And are we living on borrowed time? If you're looking for a soul to sing.
Great filters on the vocals. Love the synth coming in on that second chorus and continuing on throughout the song.
To seven even know.
That song is a beaut. I did not think I would feel deep emotions during this album reaction today, but that was just hitting me in the feel. That chorus is so cool. I really like the way it's written. Just Heaven Even Know You're Missing, Lose Your Grace, and then that, did you choose to lose your wings for the chance to fall in love? What the heck? That's just a great lyric. Also, the production on this song is high tier. You've got these background vocals using this low pass filter, and then you've got that low pass filter that appears at the beginning and then strips away to have this big eruption into that chorus, which is a daring move because you start out the song thinking like, is there something wrong with my speakers? Like, what's going on? And then you realize, oh no, like this is just what they intended. Then you have these nice moments where they draw back the instrumentation, bring it back in. Really nice placement of instruments. Nothing's ever getting in the way of anything else. Those drums sound sick. I really like the mixing on the toms. Yeah, that was just a really pretty piece of music. Would love to hear just like an acoustic version of that, just like a super raw, stripped down version too. So I can pay a little closer attention to the songwriting because it seems like it was real beautifully written. Steel Still Russ is the next song up. Steel Still is kind of a fun pair of words to say together.
Get a degree and maybe be a doctor. Just ask your daddy.
I love the inspiration they're drawing from all these different genres, grabbing things from rock, country, and hip hop with that super rhythmically based hook for the chorus and the verses.
For those who fight for us, ashes to ashes turns out still rust.
That tinkling sound in the high end of the chorus is really cool. The out of that lead guitar. It's cool. That song is so well produced. Like there's that moment coming into the bridge where, you have that telephone vocal effect, which they really like to use these interesting effects on the vocals. Nice pairing of energy throughout this album. And then the way that drum fill is edited is so cool. It's so precise. Like this producer was really just honing in on these exact moments and making them sound as cool as possible. It's really great. Songs like this make me think that the guys from Nickelback have to be so nice because the producer is getting so detailed, and this is like a really late album for them. Like this band has been around for a while and they're still sounding so crisp, and there's still so much attention to just like the smallest details. And that just makes me think like the people working with him, the engineers, the producer, Chris Bayford, have just got to have such this nice relationship. You don't get that much attention to detail unless you're either producing it yourself or you've got this awesome relationship with your producers where they just love the crap out of you and want to service the music to the highest fidelity possible. Horizon's next up.
Keeps us from colliding. 'Cause one of us is always holding somebody.
That backward swoosh coming into the chorus is so cool. It's very EDM to do something like that. It's cool.
Well, one of us is hoping that nobody can tell, and the both of us are getting good at fooling us.
In this last chorus, again, they strip back those drums, then bring in the vocals again.
Like it's just over the next horizon.
Great pairing of an instrumental hook with a vocal hook, with the just over the next horizon. And then as that vocal comes in, you have this. Standing in the Dark's next up. I love how they use that same guitar hook from the previous song to bring in the new song. That's so cool. It just caught me off guard. It was great.
And the lady on the radio can stick this damn rain where the sun don't.
Again, they're stripping down those guitars for that second verse, only bringing in that low chug later on to keep plenty of room in the high end for that vocal.
You turning me as if to say
That low pass filter on the drums coming into that bridge. The vocal and guitar just standing out a lot, and then the energy comes in on that second half of that bridge. Just great.
need your light around me, or else I'm just standing in the dark.
I really like cool tom patterns in my drums, and so I really dug the drums on this song. As always, catchy, as always, interesting production, cool chorus. Liked how they emphasized the primary line of the song. Now I'm just standing in the dark. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Just one more. We've come to the last song. It's so sad. I mean, this has been a great experience. I'm trying to figure out how they're making that string sound at the beginning because it's so cool. It sounds like an actual string put through a filter, but it could also be a MIDI. Just completely different from everything we've heard so far on this album.
Help me understand why I'm here all by myself.
Then the second verse, they've got this stand-up bass. Really like the way they're emphasizing the high end out of that bass. Those really slappy sounds. So sick.
Tell me where to sign on the dotted line.
Love the way that synth sound builds in. That nice swell it has. It's cool.
Heaven, if you hear me, give me back what's mine.
What a song to end the album with. So interesting. So many sounds that we've just not even come close to experimenting with throughout this album just suddenly show up, but there's still those rousing choruses and those interesting bridges that we've heard throughout this album, maintaining that sonic cohesion. Unexpected, but rad. Real bop. Like, the thing is, I know that this band is underrated. I know that the hate is undeserved, but then just listening through to this album, you know, front to back, and kind of concentrating and finding those different production elements going on is so fascinating. And it's so much better than I expected. It's such a great experience, using a lot of different elements from a lot of different genres, mixing them together in a nice way, using production techniques that cross different songs, you know, to maintain that sense of sonic cohesion. A lot of interesting filters, fascinating guitar tones, range of sound coming out of the band from those darker, chuggier sounds to those nice, bright tones from the guitars. A lot of interesting drum techniques as well as drum production. I'm trying to figure out if this album was supposed to be a concept album, because there's a lot of references that go across songs, and there's a lot of musical quotations that go across songs. You know, there's this stuff about prison life, this stuff about like an angel coming to be his lover. Just makes me think like, okay, there's something going on here. There's a thread that's tying this all together. So let me know. I'm not sure, but I'm sure the hardcore fans will know. Hope this reaction has added something to your enjoyment of the music. If it has, I'd really appreciate that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, check out my latest album. It's called Bashing My Head Through a Wall. It's kind of this darker, vulnerable acoustic emo stuff. Yeah, that's all I got. Catch you on the flip.